Hi all. Believe it or not, it's time to get fall seeds started. So I'm in the greenhouse today. I'm gonna get ready to make my soil blocks here and get some fall seeds going. But before I do that, I just wanted to say a huge thank you. We have gotten so many messages and well wishes for Eric, and we finally did hear from Eric after 3 days. He called to say that he was doing great. It was really hard, but he had a really positive attitude. He was in a great mood and wanted everybody to know how much all of your encouraging messages meant to him. So that I wanted to say first and foremost. And now I am going to use my potting soil, add a little water, and get these soil blocks started. So I am just using some of this Pro Mix. You can see and hear that Pro Mix, and I'm gonna add a little bit of water to that. I also have a little bit of coconut coir in here. The first time I did this, I put way too much water in it. So I'm gonna start out with much less water. For those of you who might be new here, Eric is our 18-year-old son who joined the Army National Guard, I think it was last November. And he's been going to his drill weekends each month, but just recently left for basic training at Fort Moore, which is formerly known as Fort Benning in, I think it's Columbus, Georgia. Anyway, he's at Fort Moore for the next 5 months. It's been quite the adjustment, to say the least. We miss him a lot. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. This is kind of what I'm going for here. You can squeeze it and just see a little bit of water come out between your fingers. Get a little closer. So this is what it looks like in the bin here. And then when I squeeze my fingers, you can see I gotta squeeze pretty hard to get drops to come out. So I think that'll stick together nicely in the soil blocker. It's been a little difficult to figure out what seeds to start because I'm trying to figure out what I can start yet for outside, but also in the greenhouse. And technically, I think our first frost date is like the middle of September. But obviously you can grow things like brassicas past that, you know, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. But in the greenhouse, it'll still warm up quite a bit in here. So I don't want to put brassicas in here, but I don't think I can grow anything that needs like 12 hours of sun a day. So I've decided that in the greenhouse here, I'm going to put some more carrots, some basil, and cilantro. I'm gonna try the dill inside and out. I just want to have good luck with dill, so I'm gonna try that both places. And I'm gonna put some radishes outside, and I'm gonna put beets and turnips and rutabagas in here because I did actually have good luck with those last year. So last year, and I probably planted them like they were in here for a long time. Like I probably direct seeded those rutabagas in July last year, and then I didn't harvest them until probably December because it just took that long for them to grow to get very big. But also, you know, the greenhouse kind of just stores them until you need them. So, okay, so what am I gonna start with? The sweet stem broccoli I have growing outside isn't doing the greatest, which I just don't do broccoli very well. So I'm gonna try doing some broccoli again out there in the fall, which is really when I should be planting it because our season is just, or I should say our spring is just so short. It goes from Well, it's so short because we have snow on the ground until May. I just started this soil blocking this year and I really liked it. There are probably a couple things I will change about my process, but for the most part, I don't see why I wouldn't do this in the future. I would, however, get a larger soil blocker. I know they have one that, I think this is a 1.5 inch, and I think I would get the 1 inch that has like, I don't remember, it was like 36 soil blocks in it. But, you know, I'm not doing huge amounts right now, but I can see where that would save some time. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to space these soil blocks out a little more. And the reason I would do that is because I am terrible about getting things transplanted on time. Instead of 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes mine will stay 8 weeks in these cells. And I get lazy and I don't up pot things like I should. But there shouldn't be too many things that I need to up pot. You know, like tomatoes and peppers, I'm not going to be planting more of those. And all the brassicas, I think they're good enough to sit in here 4 to 6 weeks, depending. And we'll see how they grow in the greenhouse. Last winter, I had them on racks in the mudroom in the house and with grow lights. And so I'm a little worried about, are they going to get too leggy in here reaching for the light? So we'll have to see how that goes. But I think that it'll be okay to, part of the reason I'm lazy about getting things transplanted is because it's so cold or there's still snow on the ground. So I start things mid-March, thinking mid-April I'll be able to plant them in the garden. And haha, that's so funny, in zone 3. So they end up sitting in there longer. But the fall garden, you know, there's no snow out there. The nights are above 50. So I should be able to get these transplanted in a decent amount of time. But I am going to spread them out a little bit more than I did, so that if their roots do, or if they don't get air pruned, that I'm not shocking those roots when I have to pull them apart because they've grown together. I did notice that happened a little bit in the spring. Alright, so in here I have all of the broccoli, so the sweet stem, the Waltham, the Desico, I don't know how you say that, and then a green cauliflower. That's kind of cool. I don't know if you guys ever seen this before. I just thought that was so pretty. And my hope is that I can keep these watered enough in here. That's going to be the trick. So broccoli and cauliflower are done. I'm going to try the pak choi again. Man, the flea beetles just had a heyday with it, but I'm curious if I try it now, the pak choi, that I won't have the flea beetles so bad. And I'm also going to be putting radishes out there, so I'm hoping one of them kind of acts as a trap crop and I get one or the other. So we'll see. Joel sent me a quote the other day that was something like, success is continuing to fail but not losing your enthusiasm. Boy, if that isn't the definition of gardening, I don't know what is. Because every year, every season, I'm excited to keep gardening and see what I can grow. And even though it's like the most unpredictable thing, because, you know, one year you'll have one pest or one weather pattern, and the next will be totally different. So it kind of makes me wonder, why do we do things? What makes us motivated to do things? Like, Eric is at basic training. He totally decided that all on his own. And that's a really hard thing. What is it that makes us want to try things or keep doing things when we fail? A little bit of it is that nudge from God, I think. A little bit of it is the people around us, our family and our friends, our communities. But what is it in our bodies, in our minds, that give us the urge to want to keep trying at something? And then how do you teach it? That is the goal, I think. Okay, so I have two kinds of pak choi. One is called cabbage pak choi hatao hybrid, and one is a rosette tatsoi cabbage. I'm gonna go with the shorter. So this one is 30 to 39 days, and this one's 40 to 50 days. I'm gonna go with the shorter one, just because our frost date could be mid-September. So that whole thing about why do we keep trying, I was just thinking about it, and I think that there is a limit though, right? Like, you will try something and maybe you're failing for a reason. Getting a nice storm out there. Maybe that you're failing for a reason that is not your own. Maybe it's because of something or someone else. So I think people do have a limit of what they are willing to do or how many times they're willing to try. But really look deep down, what is your goal? Why are you really trying to do it? And go in a different direction if you need to. So on to the lettuces. I have got a dozen different kinds of lettuce here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant them all outside for now. And then in December, I'm going to plant a whole nother crop of it in the greenhouse. So we have an oak leaf red and just a green oak leaf. I have a Landis winter lettuce that I had out in the spring, and it was delicious and it grew really well, but it did finally bolt. This is a year-round butterhead I haven't tried yet. This is a bronze butterhead I haven't tried yet. And this is that Monte Carlo lettuce. This was so good. I even have people coming back to the farmer's market asking me if I'm gonna have more of this. So I'm gonna do more of that. And it's only 46 days, it's pretty fast. So I'm gonna do a lot of these. I just wanna try some radicchio. I don't know, have any of you ever grown radicchio before? It sounds kind of difficult, but again, if I don't try, I guess I'll never learn. This Yeticule, I guess, is a romaine kind, and I did plant it outside and it bolted just about right away. We had unusually warm weather for June, so otherwise I think it might have been fine. I have this Henderson's Black Seeded Simpson. That's a really good one. I'm gonna do a little more Swiss chard. It's a Bright Lights. And then I have a little Cosmic Crimson lettuce mix left over. I'm going to also, I'm just going to do a little bit of these. Mostly because I have even though I have so many beds outside, I don't think I'd have room for too much lettuce right now. Oh, the mosquitoes are starting to get me in here. Well, it's starting to get dark out here, so I think I'm gonna call it a night. I got about 3.5 trays done there. And that one I have to finish of lettuce. But I wanted to just give you a little tour around the greenhouse just to see how things are growing in here right now. The tomatoes are all getting tall. I've got fruit on just about all of them. Oh, the spider webs up here. My green bean mess. I think there was a mix-up with some of my seeds. These were all supposed to be bush beans. Those are not bush beans. We've got a few more tomatoes over here. I have to do a little more pruning. I've got some big suckers in here that are needing to go. But again, we've got fruit on just about all of the tomato plants. They're just being stubborn and staying green. This is my favorite one, the Thorburns terracotta. There's tons of them back there. The carrots, those are just about ready. There's a lot of them that I think I'm gonna pull for the market tomorrow. I planted some more of the Diva cucumbers up here just a few days ago, and they're already coming up. Really producing well over there, but you can see the spider mites, I think, have kind of gotten a hold of them, so I'm going to probably pull some of those out soon. So I want to have these in here to keep it going. Got a few peppers over here. These are the shishitos. And there's some Swiss chard left that I think is probably pretty bitter, but I just haven't pulled it out yet. Kind of wanted to see how big this spider was getting up here. I don't know if you can see in there. You see that white thing right there? Let's see if I can focus in on it. The thing is huge. That white part of it is just its body. Like it's the back part of its body. I don't know. The thing is huge. Creeps me out. But it sure keeps a lot of the mosquitoes down in here. So there's carrots over here. Those are getting ready. The beets, they just didn't do very well in here. So that's Chiaga beets, and those are the red ace beets. And really, I haven't been bringing them to market. We've been eating them ourselves, and they taste really good. They're just really small. And there's the cucumbers. They've started covering the braces. And then over there are all of the bell peppers, habanadas, jalapenos, more shishitos, Anaheims, and poblanos. I love this time of year when everything is so green in here. You can see the trees are back there too. We did pull out the 3 that I think are peach trees. There's one I'm not sure what it is, but we did pull all 3 of those out and put them outside because they were just, the spider mites were just getting the better of them. Like, look at them all.
I'm just gonna end up busting these off, so.
I'm gonna burn this tree.
We could just clip these off and then it could still try to grow outside.
I guess this tree probably deserves to live for as hard as it's.
Do you have a clipper? I don't have one.
No. Alright, I'll go get one. I wouldn't touch it.
Where are we putting them?
Light a match. I don't know how they can come back from this. This is 2 years in a row now that they've had spider mites really bad.
Can we just put them out there for now? Or
They can just stay here, can't they?
well, if you want to uncover them.
Yeah, because then they'll just spread to the garden.
Put them down there.
Yeah, just put them over there and I'll neem oil them tonight. The wind just picks them up and spreads them is the problem.
Right. So is it better to put them down there then?
No, I would keep them on the other side of the driveway from the garden. I don't know if that'll matter. I'm going to neem them and get most of them. And now they're sitting outside and getting poured on, and they look great. They look super healthy. So I don't know. That might be something we have to do, is take the trees out during the spring and summer and fall and bring them back in the winter. I don't know. I was hoping to be able to plant them in here at some point, to actually like plant them in the ground, but I don't know. I think there's a little more work that has to be done before we can do that. So thanks for joining me today. If you liked this video, please like it. If you're new here, we hope you'll subscribe. And just a reminder, if you are failing, it means you are trying. And if you keep trying, you're bound to have success.